Hey guys, Heronox here, and today I'm going to be talking about the TI6 Compendium predictions that have just come out. Once again, they are divided into the 4 categories here, and so I will go through each one and go through each of my choices and kind of give you an idea of why I picked that. In addition, I will be able to hopefully give you other options that are also likely to win it. I do this mostly because, especially in the hero predictions, they are unbelievably difficult, while some of them, hero with highest GPM average, I'm looking at you, are fairly easy to guess. Some of the other ones, like hero with highest win rate, which is essentially just what hero do you think is going to win 5 games and only be picked in those 5 games, very, very difficult. So I'll try and give you my idea of what I'm looking for in each of these prediction spots, and then also give you some choices. If you see some other people saying similar things, maybe you'll go with those choices instead of the ones I've actually chosen. But other than that, let's get right into it. Disruptor for most picked hero. This hero has been pretty dominant in a lot of games recently, just because of how much of a win more hero he is. As soon as you pull a little bit of lead and you can actually engage the enemy team, Glimpse is just netting you free kills. You absolutely force fights, especially in the early game before BKBs. And then if the game ever goes ultra late game, things like Kinetic Field and Aghanim's Scepter on your ultimate, preventing BKB usages and other items, is just absolute bananas. Any popular hero is going to be a good pick here. Heroes that can be picked first phase without too much worry about getting countered. Lion, Invoker, both very good, and possibly even Shadow Demon, though he may get banned just a little too much. I went with Io for most banned hero. This is not very controversial. Whenever these big tournaments pick up, Io gets seen dominating games and just causing a huge headache for competitive teams. He is always just going to be one of those heroes that you don't want to play against. He changes the way the game is played. And as long as he's relevant, I think he's always going to be a contender for most banned. Shadow Demon's actually up there, I think. And same with Ricky. Ricky's definitely up there. And possibly even someone... I don't think Beastmaster's quite there anymore. He's kind of come down. But yeah, you generally want a hero that teams just are uncomfortable playing against. And Ricky, Io, and even, Invoker to some extent, all fit that bill. They're just heroes that are tough to play against. Bounty Hunter, is also, I was thinking, Bounty Hunter is also a great choice for most banned. Hero with highest win rate, like I said earlier, this is a hero that just is going to play very few games, is going to play at least 5 games, and is probably going to win all of them. And I think Clinks is actually super fucking broken right now. Like, holy hell, this hero, I'm surprised, he hasn't taken off, because he keeps getting buffed and he is insane. Other things, if Slark doesn't see a lot of games, I think he'll be up there. Spectre is kind of in that weird niche territory. I don't think she's actually that pickable, but she might be pickable in like certain situations where she'll win the game. And then there might be some other ones. Basically, you're looking for a niche pick that when they do get picked, are going to be incredibly effective. Sven, highest kill average. When Sven's in the game, he tends to get a lot of kills. He's just a killing machine. Other heroes also do this. Invoker also tends to get a lot of kills in every game he's in. Ember Spirit tends to get a lot of kills in every game he's in. So anyone like that is going to be what you're looking for there. Highest assist average. Generally speaking, you have 2 trains of thought on this, and I can't decide anymore which I prefer. You either go the carry that just hits everything and sometimes gets kills, but sometimes gets the assist for the kills they don't get. This is good on teams like Secret and teams like EG to some extent, where you have 2 strong cores, or also teams like OG, Miracle and No Tail, 2 strong cores. They kind of share a lot of kills, so each one ends up getting a lot of assists. The other train of thought is just picking a support that tends to hit hit everything in the fight, like Earth Spirit or Shadow Demon is big for me right now. or Ancient Apparition, things like that. They hit everything. But I went with Shadow Demon here. I think Ancient Apparition, Zeus, probably better choices. But I don't know. This year is so fucking silly right now. So I'm thinking the Illusion memes are going to be where we're looking. Slark here with lowest death average. Slark, his ultimate, makes it very slippery. I think he will get played quite a bit here. He might. This is kind of similar to the win rate. You want someone who's going to be picked not very much, and when they do get picked, they're going to win the game pretty hard. TA might also be a very good choice here. And then in addition, you could also just pick people that are super tanky, like Medusa or Spectre to some extent. But Spectre kind of abuses the fact that she can buy back Haunt into the fights and tends to die because of that. Highest last hit average. Pick someone you think will crush the last hits. Anti-Mage has always been one of those to me. He just... you pick him and you get that early timing on the Battle Fury, and then you just last hit till the cows come home. You know, it's just easy last hits all game. He hasn't been seen a lot, but you know, he's always one of those heroes that I think a lot of the carry players are very comfortable with. And when it's like, shit, what hero do we pick here? I don't know. Haven't played Anti-Mage. He fits in this draft well. Let's go for it. Highest GPM. Alchemist is probably the only choice possible for this. No hero can even compete with him. Grievel's Greed has been buffed to the point where I don't think even, like, maybe if Meepo was in the meta and, like, you had the best players playing him, but even still, Alchemist way too broken. Hero with most kills in a game, hard to say. Invoker's always one of those heroes that can go on rampages and just kind of go crazy. I think Sven's also a possible choice here. I think if Tinker sees any play, he can also get just a ton of kills. Most kills in a game is a choice where you're looking for a game that will go late. So you're looking for a hero that will not only perform well in a game, but also can't really close out the game. Invoker can't do it by himself, so that's kind of why I'm going for him here. Ember Spirit's kind of the same way. Heroes most last hits in the game. Sven Cleave is just pretty disgusting, and he also gets things like Blink. And sometimes he can't close out games because he powers up in the spurts with his ultimate. Moving on to the teams. Which team will win? That is for you to decide. I love me some Eternal Envy. I'm not ashamed to admit that he is my spirit animal. And yeah, so I picked Team Secret, you know? And if I was actually putting real solid money on this and looking at all the teams that are here, if Wings can play like Wings plays at non-Valve LAN events, I think they're an incredibly strong competitor here. If they play like they play at Valve events, then, well, yeah, rip the dream. Na'Vi seems to be playing incredibly well, and OG is just solid all the time. And then you have the newbie and MVP, which seem to both be playing. This is an incredibly competitive TI. I don't think there has been a TI where there has been so much kind of turmoil and competitiveness bred into because of the major system. There are so many incredibly powerful teams. Like, I didn't even mention Liquid, and Liquid is probably also up there. So pick which one you think has the highest chance of winning. Any of the teams that won majors are probably safe bets. And then also, I mean, you have Newbie, you have Wings and Na'Vi that are all very good right now. Team with most kills in a game, Na'Vi goes ham. The Ruskies, man. CIS Dota. They get kills. So I go with that for both kills and kill average. Team with fewest deaths in a game. Secret, I don't know. If anyone is going to pull off a 22-0 kind of thing, then I think it could be Secret. I also like Liquid for this one. They seem to also be a very powerful team for that. Most assists in the game, Newbie. I really like Newbie's support duo. I feel like they move around the map and get a lot of work done and create a lot of assists. That's just kind of how I feel. We'll see. This is a really hard one because most assists tends to just essentially mean who goes into the latest game. So, but we'll see. Team Secret with the longest game. Secret just seems to get themselves, I should say, not Secret. Eternal Envy just seems to get himself into these disgusting slogfest of games. And I always will expect that. And unless something changes, I don't know. It seems to always be a good guess. Team that wins the shortest game. Liquid, I think, have the ability to put a strategy together, put a draft together, and execute incredibly well to the point where you at 15 minutes, there's no glimmer of hope. It's over. Like, you have to call it. eHome, team with the highest game length average. I'm essentially putting this on either eHome is eliminated in the wild card, but they play really well in those wild cards, and they drag the games out because they really, really, really want to go to TI. Or if they actually get in, I'm hoping that they kind of have that sense of, we're looking to make sure we win these games. OG for teams that pick the most different heroes. I think OG is a very weird squad when it comes to picks. Crit is probably the least flexible, and even he plays like 4 or 5 different heroes consistently. So I think you're bound to see quite a few heroes out of them. Any team is pretty. I mean, any team that's actually qualified. Let me specify that. Also, part of this most different heroes is how a team that plays the most series, most games, more opportunity to play more heroes. So pick a team you think will go later into the tournament. Team with fewest heroes, minimum 10 games played. I didn't see the minimum 10 games played, I'll be honest. So now we get to pick a new team here, because basically I don't think Execration. I don't know what 2 teams make it on the wild card. My prediction is actually eHome and Escape, I think, are the most likely to make it out. Complexity, kind of, they've had some intermittent success, and I think if they show up, they'll do incredibly well. But I think eHome had probably been training their asses off, and I think Escape, just a solid team. So, fewest heroes with 10. So, what team do you basically think is going to go home in the middle of the tournament? Because 10. Sorry, we have group stages. God, I am off my game tonight. Alright, I'm picking MVP Phoenix here for 2 reasons. One, I think MVP Phoenix is a team that executes certain strategies incredibly well. And 2, I think their aggression limits what they're willing to do. I think they really like to push their aggression with heroes like Spirit Breaker and things like that. So we'll see. This may get changed. This is a tentative one that I didn't think about, but I'm invested. I'm too deep. It's goddamn 2 a.m. and I work tomorrow. All right, let's go on to player predictions. Player with the highest kill average, maybe is a incredible player. He absolutely dominates. I think very few people would criticize this choice. He's just on point consistently. Miracle, player with most kills in the game. Miracle may be the best mid player that's ever played Dota. He is just so on point, and if he ever gets away in a game, you can bet he'll end up with a shitload of kills. Resolution for the lowest death average is kind of interesting, but from the recent tournaments that I've seen, I guess I should point out, I forgot to point this out in the beginning, I'm pulling data for all of this from basically the Star Ladder that just happened, Summit 5, a little bit looking at Nanyang, and there was one other one that I can't remember. It's essentially the recent tournaments that have happened on this patch. And Resolution is consistently in like the top 4 for least deaths, like top 2 to top 4. So there's a good chance he might actually, he's up there. He's a very solid player and very he knows his limits. Seneko for highest assist average. Seneko is a phenomenal player when it comes to finding these opportunities, and I've been incredibly happy to see how well Navi has kind of come back. Like, Navi was kind of one of the first teams I ever kind of rooted for, and to see them go away and then come back now has been pretty cool. Whether they win or not, I don't know, but they are a good team, and Seneko is definitely a player that has come out of seemingly nowhere, and just every time you see him, especially like in my mind, I just see Seneko, I see Earthshaker, and I see the most disgusting fishers in mid lane constantly ruining the life of the enemy mid laner. And speaking of supports that are pretty disgusting, Jerax with most assists in a game because Earth Spirit, essentially. Earth Spirit, one broke ass hero, and thank God he has been nerfed into the floor. And still probably see him, and Jerax will show us why, that even if the hero's pretty nerfed, he's still pretty broken. How for highest last hit average? I don't know. Highest last hit average is kind of weird because you're looking, it's less to do with the player and more to do almost with the team dynamic, because you can't have a team where the two cores kind of share it more equally. I think in a lot of teams these days, your two cores are sharing, and I think How ends up with a lot more than. God damn it, Mike. I think How ends up with a disproportionately high amount of farm on his team. Player with most last hits in a game. Eternal Envy. I mean, if a game goes crazy late, which I think it will when Jackie Mao is involved, he's probably going to be also playing a hero that farms like crazy. Player with most GPM in a game. Once again, How. I think he's just going to have consistently high amounts of last hits, and he will consistently play well. I don't know how else to describe that. Highest GPM average, Shadow. I think this is kind of a weird one, but Shadow is one of those guys, and on Wings nonetheless, that I think he just gets a lot done for his team consistently. He when Wings are playing well, this is a corollary. If Wings play well, I think Shadow will be one of the reasons why they do well. The guy is incredible. And player that plays most different heroes. This is 100% on the backbone that EG just weren't totally fucking around at the last tournament with all these Sumail bullshit mid picks. If they were going for some crazy next level shit, and they actually have Sumail practicing these different types of mids, then this is fine. If not, holy shit, I'm going to crash and burn behind this. But it's hard to find data on this one, so I would, take this one with a grain of salt. I'm just banking on the Sumail. And tournament predictions. One note, first one has changed. When this first came out, it was overall games in the tournament. Now it is games in the main event. All right, there are possible 41 to 60 games, 17 best of 3s, 4 best of 1s, and 1 best of 5, if I remember correctly. And so with that being said, I think roughly, if you look at it, about half BO3s go to, which is what you expect, but about half go to Game 3. And so given that, you're going to see between about 50 and 51 games. This is also assuming that you see at least 4 games in the Grand Finals. So assuming 4 Grand Finals and about 50% on the best of 3s, you see about 50 to 51 games. I think this year the competition is at a very high level, and so I'm willing to edge that up to the 51 to 53. Total numbers of heroes picked 91 to 100. So many heroes are viable. This is a crazy patch. This is a great patch, and there's certain parts of it I don't like, but I can't complain with the amount of heroes that can be picked. Total numbers of heroes banned 81. I feel it's going to either be high 70s or low 80s, and so somewhere in there is my advice. There's a lot of games that are going to be played though, so that's kind of why and a lot of these I've been edging higher because of just how many games are played in the tournament. It's going to be over 100 probably, so somewhere in that 90 to 100 range. Most combined total kills in a game, 91 to 100. It's not unreasonable if a game goes decently late to see a team with 50 kills and the other team with 40 kills if it's a close game. Longest game of the tournament, 80 to 90 minutes. I think once you pass that 90-minute mark, that's a long game. And while there's definitely a chance that we will see one, because teams, every game matters so much in TI, you never want to quit until you've actually lost the game. I do believe that longest game of the tournament probably won't breach that 90-minute mark, but it will be high 80s if I was to guess, and it could be low 90s, so between the two is where you're looking. Shortest game, I don't think you'll get anything shorter than 10 minutes. 10 to 15. The more I sit here and think, I think it'll be about 14 to 16. Unfortunately, a lot of my guesses are ending up on these kind of lines, and I will actually, I'm tossing between the two. I'm probably going to continue tossing between the two. I'll put up an annotation on what is my current, if I've changed it, but I think I'm going to go with 10 to 15 for now, because I think there's a chance that you will see at least one game where it's just a draft win, an utter draft win. So most kills by a hero in a game, 20 to 22, 22, 25, somewhere in there, 20 to 25, somewhere in there. I'm kind of hedging my bets a bit lower on this one because I also went lower with that, but there's a lot of heroes that just pick up kills consistently through the game. Most deaths by a hero in a game. While Disruptor is a good hero, he is also incredibly vulnerable to ganks, and I guarantee you will see a game with a Disruptor with 10 plus deaths, and that's probably going to happen several times in the tournament. Most assists by a hero in a game, 36 plus. If a game goes to 90 minutes or a game has combined 91 to 100 kills, there will be someone with 36 or more assists. I absolutely guarantee it. So I think that's a guarantee. And highest GPM by a hero is always going to be 1,000 plus if Alchemist is played, because that hero manufactures money like just an unbelievably stupid rate. I actually hate Greevil's Greed right now. It is so stupid. It is absolutely retarded how much GPM that hero makes. Interesting to watch, at least. So anyways, these are the predictions that I've come up with. Once again, please look into the spirit of why I'm picking them, not so much as just what I picked, although you are more than welcome to follow that as well. I will be adding any annotations if I change my mind on anything. That happened last time, and interestingly enough, I changed my mind, and I was totally right when in my first thought about it. But whatever. If you disagree with me, please say so in the comments. I love getting into it with you guys and defending my opinions, and also seeing what your opinions are. It happened last time, and there was some good discussion down there. If you like my prediction videos, give me a subscribe. I will try to have a prediction video for any time these come out. I missed the last set, but basically those came out and then the predictions locked before I even kind of saw them or had time to make a video about them. So one thing I will add is I think I'm going to make a video about picking the best in-game predictions, because that seems to be a thing that Valve is going for, is these in-game predictions, and those are really kind of a neat way, and I kind of want to talk about those. So that is something that will happen in the future. Other than that, I think that's everything. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.